Good morning. This is Stephen Dowdy, and I'm making a report on terms and conditions. How they work, are they legal, and do they make sense to the consumer? I'll be presenting this presentation to El Guapo, or the negotiator, William Shatner. Good morning, sir. I thank you for the opportunity to share the results of the task you assigned me, Mr. Priceline, negotiator, or El Guapo. Sir, I think now's a good time to negotiate a better deal. Seriously, this whole business model is based on finding a better deal for the consumer. A deal that's out there already, but we're helping them make the connection. You assign me the task of looking at the Priceline.com Incorporated website terms and conditions. This is the basic agreement between users and Priceline.com Incorporated. For example, here's the leading opening line, all in caps. Before submitting an account registration form and or using any of these services, please read all of this agreement carefully. By assessing any areas of the site, users or you, agree to be legally bound without limitation, qualification, or change, and to abide by these terms and conditions, which will constitute our agreement. If at any time you do not agree with any part of this agreement, you must discontinue use of this site. The other all cap statement says, without limitation of any other provisions of this agreement, you may not use this site for any purpose that is unlawful or prohibited by this agreement, and or any applicable additional terms. Your access to the site may be terminated immediately in Priceline.com's sole discretion, with or without notice. If you fail to comply with any provision of this agreement, and or additional terms, or for any other reasons, or no reason. Seriously, any reason or no reason? Why should a consumer want to trust us? What we don't see in capital letters are any rights that the consumer may have to redress any issues. Are there any resolution procedures? If there are, then let's lead with them. Let's lead with that information somewhere close to the top of the terms. Let's make it easy for a consumer to get a hold of customer relations for on-the-spot resolutions. Isn't there something positive the lawyers will allow us to say and to include in the terms? If someone asked me if I thought the agreement was a valid contract, I would have to probably say yes, but with some reservation. No pun intended, sir. Since the company is in the business to make money and keep a steady flow of customers, there is definitely no reason to purposely take advantage of someone or to perpetrate a scam on anyone. The customer always has to be aware that this is a deal-making process, and there is a certain risk in trying to save a buck. If money wasn't an object, then they would use an agency that would do all the work for them, for a fee, of course. So, the way it is written, I would say buyer beware and realize that the company is looking out for its own interest first, so deal with it. Get it, sir? Deal with it? Anyways, here's another question that came to mind. Does it matter whether a visitor affirmatively assents through clicking an agree icon or something similar? Or should a user be bound solely through use, even though the user has not read it? That sounds kind of silly, but sir, that is exactly the position of the current terms of use. How can we just say that by clicking on the link that my friend posts on Facebook, that single click link obligates me to the terms? If it's not true, then we need to say so. I'm not saying that the users have no obligations, but we should provide them with information that sets expectations and limits to each offer at every step of the marketing process. That way, the smarter consumers are, the more informed they are about the details. According to the terms, it seems that Priceline does not have any obligations per the agreement. We do use words like good faith and timely manner, but then we end the sentence with a statement that we offer no guarantees. Seriously, can't the lawyers find anything good to say? I did find some statements in the agreement that I thought were unenforceable. For instance, How are we going to block someone from the site? We say we will, but how? Is that an idle threat? If so, what else are we bluffing about? And if so, why would the company put it in there anyways? What do we hope to gain by stating something so ambiguous? Sir, did you know that there's a site called pissedconsumers.com? And frustrated consumers are trying to start a class action suit against the company. Whether we have the law on our side or not is not as important as keeping our potential customers happy. I think we need to look at the stories posted and see how we can mitigate any further misunderstandings as soon as possible. As I mentioned, sir, the changes I recommend is to lead with positive information and emphasize both positive aspects of realistic expectations and point out the obvious limitations on our part as well. I mean, this is a customer-centric business, or is it really a business-centric business? I did hear you made $600 million on your stocks, but that can't be the only reason you believe in this business. You have always played radical rebel roles, and now it's time to challenge the universe again and change the course of history, or at least this terms and condition history. Thank you, and that concludes my presentation.